from Mr. and Mrs. Seahawks house. Anyway, I got to get some thoughts out about this game because, man, it's just ugly win. And I didn't even know about the whole SWAT gate controversy that was going on. Obviously, inside the stadium, we don't hear about all that being chatted about, but I'm just kind of learning about it now. So now there's, controversy if we even should have won that game as it was because of what happened with that ball being hit, swatted out, whatever it is. So anyway, that aside, I don't even know what the ruling is. I'm not even talking about that. I just want to talk about the game itself, the Seahawks. Okay, so I said it was an ugly win. Yes, it was ugly. I will still say, though, a win still counts as a win. So I'll take any win that I can get. Who cares what everybody says about it? Because at the end of the day, in the win column, it still shows up the same. No points, no style points for anything. So I'm going to try to look at this with a slightly positive end since everything feels really negative. But the negative side was too many sacks. 6 sacks is insane. At this rate, Russell's going to be walking dead pretty soon, because it just, no one can take a beating like that for an entire season. But the offensive line has been having its issues. Clearly, I've seen some of the Philadelphia Eagles games, and our lines look eerily similar in the sense of guys just running backs getting hit by defensive linemen 4 yards in the backfield, pockets collapsing before the quarterbacks even had a chance to set their feet. So those woes continue, and it's alarming. I'd say, of the 6 sacks we had, 3 of them were, in just my quick memory of it, it felt like 3 of them were the Lions' fault. The other 3 were Russell's fault. And the Lions doing what it does. There's no surprise there. So we have to adjust, knowing what our line is capable of. Okay, so that's on the offensive coordinator to plan and maximizing your strengths and weaknesses. We have a lot of rookies, a lot of new guys in that line, including the center who false started. How does the center false start? I'll never know. But just do plays that don't rely on the line's weaknesses to make them successful. We started to run the ball with some pretty good, success in the second half. Now, as far as the dropbacks, and what I feel like is it seems like watching Russell. It's like he drops back and he's looking to throw after dropping out like 3 steps or pretty quick, and then for some reason he seems to hesitate, and then that's what he has to kind of do is bouncing around, scrambling around thing. But you watch these guys, Rodgers and Brady and stuff, and those guys, they drop back and they're in the same situation. Those guys, especially Brady, can't move at all, so he has to make the throw because he can't scramble, and he just sits back there and then hits these guys. And these routes are all like short, a lot of them are short yard runs, like crossing routes by guys like Edelman and what's the other dude's name, but we're talking like 5 or 6 yard crossing routes, and they run for like another 5 or 6 and get first downs. And I just don't know why we don't do that, because you run your guys deeper routes, they take longer time, and unless Russell is just simply not seeing the read and throwing it right away, taking too much time to make the decision to throw, then he has to scramble and run for his life and improvise, which worked out sometimes tonight. But you don't want to have to rely on that. You want to have kind of a solid base that you can kind of just run a nice solid offense and then break off from that once in a while. Anyway, so it just seems like I still feel like there's a lack of trust between what Russell's doing and throwing it up to his receivers, particularly Graham. So again, so that's kind of the sack issue. Now, the thing I think was fluky about this game was the defense actually had a really good game up until the final minute or two when Detroit went probably the length of the field and nearly scored the touchdown. They'd held Detroit in check pretty much through the whole game and through most of the fourth quarter. They only had 100-something yards, 160 or so yards, I think, through most of the fourth quarter. So we kept them pretty much out of our side of the field for most of the game and did a pretty good job. So, not including that last drive. So it was really on the offense to just not, to just put them in a position to where, we score a couple more times and the game's out of reach. But instead, of course, we sack fumble, give them their only touchdown, which was, a defensive score. And, if we just convert on opportunities that we had, 1st and goal at the 9, that should have been a touchdown, had to settle for a field goal. A couple times where it was just, fumbled snap, bad snaps, penalties, the usual stuff. But it seems like for us, it always happens at the most inopportune time. So, anyway, I felt like that plus the turnovers, which normally we're not that sloppy with, Wilson fumbling and losing 2, Tyler Lockett losing 1 on the punt. I mean, those are things that take possessions away from your offense, and probably if that doesn't happen, I mean, those are 3 very fluky turnovers that don't normally happen to us, and we probably end up getting more opportunities, and the game's probably out of reach by the fourth quarter. But we didn't. Instead, went the other way and gave them all the opportunities to try to catch up. So, next week, looking ahead to the Bengals. Bengals are 4-0. I do have this feeling how this could work to our advantage psychologically. And we didn't play well. We know we look like a team that can't, offensively has no potency to it. And the rest of the world saw that. The rest of the league saw that. And I'm sure Cincinnati saw that. And this might give them a boost of overconfidence, thinking, we don't have to, we're going to kill these guys. And maybe that's just a little bit of edge that might be enough that they won't put their 100% A game together thinking they got this. And maybe for Seattle, this will be a wake-up call for them that you guys you cannot play and get away with what we've gotten away with so far, and think we're going to be able to walk out of there with a win. So maybe psychologically they'll put that chip on their shoulder to know we stole a win tonight and we got to play way better than we have, and maybe I'll give them that edge. So it's going to be tough. Bengals, have looked pretty good and they're scoring a lot of points, something that we can't do. We're only scoring offensively. It feels like 1 touchdown a game, practically. Well, not the first game with Stanley, but I mean, we've been going this rate where it's just offensively, we just can't string a bunch of drives and scores together like a lot of these 4-0 teams are doing, where they're scoring 28 points a game, 30 plus points a game. We're just not. We don't have that right now going for us. It just feels like offense score 3 touchdowns. I predicted we were going to score 41 points in this game. Boy, was I off. But of course, things are never what you think they are when you predict wins and losses during the off season. Everything changes. So, yep, we got a lot of work to do. The Lions got to play better. Russell's got to be better with the ball, more decisive. I think our receivers, they've got to run. They got to help Russell out too. Quicker routes. Don't rely on the line to have to give you a lot of time. But we had a lot of success when Russell was doing the rollout stuff. The bootlegs, and I always feel like he's at his best when he has that option to kind of run or throw on the run. I hope they do that more. I thought Rawls ran pretty well tonight. He didn't disappoint in my book. Once we got out of our own way in the first quarter, where we just couldn't get a positive, not getting tackled in the backfield. So I'm optimistic that we can still get away next Sunday against the Bengals with a win, but it's going to be very, very hard. And Seattle's offense is going to have to play twice as good as they've been playing in order to pull that off. So we need to do that. We need to get more pressure on the quarterback. We had no sacks tonight, which is, I don't know how that didn't happen. Stafford has escaped with a couple that he should have been sacked on. Still no picks. But, you know, I remember this was the same thing last year. We were getting no picks, and people were thinking, you know, this defense is nothing like they were before. And, of course, they turned things around. We need to get that turnaround going quick. So, more pass rush. We got to start getting the ball, get turnovers by our DBs. And I think they'll come. You know, I remember last year talking about, once they come in bunches, and they did. Once our season did turn around. So it feels a lot like last year. And I remember 6 games in, we were just feeling like, you know, it was not a good start to the season. So, that's all I got. I don't know. You're not really celebrating this win. You're more like relieved that we got this win. But clearly, we got work to do, and we are not looking right now like a championship team. You know, so. But as I keep saying, I don't think we can get much worse than we've been. So it's only got room to go back up, and I'm confident that they'll find a way to do that. So, all right, that's it. I'm done rambling. But this will be a fun game for you guys to watch because, man, emotionally I was all over the place, especially at the end. Man, I'm sure you guys were. It was crazy. But, all right, we'll see how it goes next Sunday. That's it. So, keep watching, guys. I loved meeting a lot of U12s today around the stadium, coming up and just saying hi and taking pictures and tell me how much you like the videos. So I do appreciate that. It's always fun when I get to meet people in person. So again, check out norbcam.com. I'm going to continue to put my videos up there for ease of you to find that. If you want to get the DVD from last year, just go to the Norb merch category, and that's where you'll find it. And always please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do that at my website or at YouTube itself. So that's it. I'm done. Time to go. It's getting late. All right. Glad we got the win. Work to do. Get them Sunday. All right. Go Hawks.